multi-step equations today. And here, this is awfully zoomed in. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're going to be doing multi-step equations today. So hopefully you guys have something to take notes on because we're going to get started. So, and again, if you need to go back on this, this will be recorded and posted to YouTube. Okay. All right. Oop, Jared needs to get it. All right. So let me get my lesson plan up. Of course, it's not up. Sorry, guys. It just took me a second to get everything set up. Okay, so we're going to be doing multi-step equations. Okay, remember, multi-step just means more than one. Okay, and we already did a little bit of that last time. Okay, so I want to remind people, so there's three, remember what we did last time, so there's three key things to remember when solving. Okay, and remember, guys, if you ever have any questions, to go ahead and ask in the chat, or you can turn on your mic. Okay, so the first one is PEMDAS. Wrote it really big out there. So P is for parentheses. E is for exponents. M is for multiplication. Oops. Let someone in. Multiplication. D is for division. A is for addition. And S is for subtraction. Okay, so make sure you remember this is order of operations. Okay, so when we're solving, we go backwards, right? And this is why it's hard. So can you see it now? Thank you, I appreciate that. So we go backwards. So what I mean by that, if I write out PEMDAS, oh, and you know why I think it's because it's zoomed in. Ah. Oh, so much better. Can you guys see a lot more now? Hopefully. Okay. So so we go backwards. So when we solve, we start here and we go this way. Okay. So that's the first thing to remember. The second thing to remember is that we're going to be using inverse operations. So this is what we talked about last class. Right? Now, inverse operations sounds scary, but inverse just means opposite. Right? The opposite of left is right. The opposite of up is down. Okay? And operations, that's your plus, minus, multiply, and divide. Okay? And so the opposite of these, right? We talked about that last time. Here. The opposite of these would be negative, positive, divide, multiply. Okay? And then third, oh, I'm running out of room here, is the property of equality. Right? Which just says whatever you do to the left, you have to do to the right. So maybe it's best if I just do an example of it. So if I have x plus 2 equals 7, and then the property of equality just says there's two sides to the equation, So if I subtract 2 here, I also have to subtract 2 here. So it has to be equal on both sides. Because if it's not equal, then we no longer have an equation. Okay? So that's just a little recap of what we did last time. And I'm sorry for this little watermark ManyCam. I need to purchase this software, so I don't have that, and I'll be doing that today. Okay? So that's what we did last time. So let's move on ahead. Or was everybody okay? We don't have any questions? I just realized I don't even have... Oh, good morning, Miss Ortiz. I didn't have my my webcam, my videos up. So, all right. So let's go ahead and let's keep taking notes. All right. So what's up next? So that was our review. Okay. So let's go ahead and try out a problem. So the problem that we're going to do is we're going to solve, let's go ahead and try this out. I'm going to use decimals today. So remember, guys, there's a bunch of free calculators on. No, you don't want to. Sorry, I just saw in chat, it says no. Does that mean no, you don't have any questions? Or no, we don't want to do decimals? Yes, okay. Okay, but remember, if you have a calculator, decimals are nothing. You just type it into the calculator. So again, either have a calculator on your phone, or have a physical calculator, or have a calculator on your browser. You can just go to desmos.com and there's a calculator there. Or you can do it in your head. Or and just also remember, guys, on the assignments, you always have a Desmos calculator. So we need to get used to having decimals. Okay, so here I'm going to the Desmos calculator is a lot like this calculator, and that's what I'm going to do today because my cell phone isn't working. So what we're going to do here, we have to follow PEMDAS. So I'm going to do addition, subtraction first. Okay, so thank you, Gabriel, for doing that as a private message. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to deal with the addition and subtraction. So I'm going to add 13 to both sides. Okay, and I have the same on both sides. So when I do that, that goes to 0. So I'm left with 2.5x equals, and then I can go on my calculator, 2 plus 13, I get 15. Okay? And then, so now I have my next step, and my next step here is, this is 2.5 times. So remember, with multiplication, sometimes we get lazy and we don't write multiplication. So what I'm going to do here is, what's the opposite of times? So the opposite of times is divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2.5. And again, a decimal here might look scary if I had to do this by hand or if I had to do this in my head. But with the calculator, I can just go 15 divided by 2.5, and I get 6. Okay, and that's my answer. So in a second here, I'm going to have you guys try one on your own. So here. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to have you guys try this one out. So I want you to solve 15 equals 1.5 W, oops, that's an ugly W, W plus 3. So I want you guys to solve for W. I'm going to give you guys a minute. Ooh, I'm going to give you a minute 30 to try this on your own. So remember, if you need to take a second and open up a calculator window on your Chromebook, you can go ahead and do that. If you have a cell phone, you can download Desmo Scientific Calculator. Here, I'll get the web address for you as well. All right, guys, as we're finishing up, so it's hard for me to know how much time we need. So can you guys in chat, can you just type in chat, was that enough time? Did you need more time? Or was it too much time? So in chat, can you tell me it was enough time, I needed more time, or it was too much time? Can you guys type that into chat really quick? A little bit more time? Okay, so I'm getting the sense that it was either enough or I needed more. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. So we'll adjust that as we keep going. Okay. So going over this now. Yeah. So Leslie, I'm really glad you brought that up. If you write it, do you not like having the 15 over here? Do you like doing it like this? Is that what you mean, Leslie? Do you like doing it this way? Yeah, hey, that's totally fine. I just want to expose you different ways of seeing it so that way you don't freak out and you can be like, oh, these are the same. I can do it any way I want. And Leslie, you should. You should totally do it the way you want because that's what it's all about. Okay? So I'm glad you brought that up. So going through here, again, I'm going to have two steps. I want to do PEMDAS backwards. Now, I do want to say that you don't technically have to follow PEMDAS backwards, but it always works if you do, okay? So what I'm going to do is to solve this, I'm going to start with addition subtraction. So it says plus 3, the opposite of plus is minus. I have two sides of my equation, and I'm going to make sure that I do the same thing on each side. So when I do that, 15 minus 3, I am going to have 12. Someone is joining. So I'm going to have 12 equals 1.5 W, right? Because the 3's go to 0. And then here, again, we're being lazy with our math. This is really 1.5 times W. So the opposite of multiply is divide. So I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 1.5. And then in my calculator, I'm going to go 12 divided by 1.5. And I get 8 equals W. Yeah, what's up? Please. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So one thing I want to point out, and thank you for asking, that's a really good question. So do you see how it's 1.5 times W? So 1.5 W is different than 3. So we can't add them together. They're two different things. So just like we can't, remember how last time we worked on combining like terms? This is, so think of this as an apple. And then think of this as a banana. Okay? You can't combine them because they're two different things. So we can't take 1.5 plus 3 to get a new number. We can't do that because they're two different things. And then as far as treating this as like the 1 and the 5 separate, we have to treat them all the same because, again, mathematicians are lazy. There's actually like a parenthesis right here. So it's the quantity of 1.5 times w. So when we divide, we have to divide by that whole thing. Does that answer your question? Hey, I'm so glad you asked because you're going to feel a lot better going forward with this, okay? All right. So if we have more time, guys, I'm going to come back and do a couple more practice problems with this, okay? Next up, though, we're going to talk about combining like terms. So sometimes we must combine like terms. And then I'm going to say to make our life easier, to make things easier. Okay, so sometimes we need to combine like terms. Sorry, I'm moving things around. So what I mean by this, let's do an example. So the example I'm going to share with you is going to be negative 12 equals 9x minus 6x plus 15. And we're going to solve this. Okay. Now, in this problem, what's different? Do you guys see how there's a lot more going on this right side? So combining like terms, only happens on one side. You guys see how that's different than what we did here? Here, I did the same thing to both sides, whereas with combining like terms only happens on one side. So we do that. So up here, we just talked about how this would be an apple and this is a banana. But if I go down here, doesn't that mean I have two things of bananas? So I have 9 apples or bananas, whatever. And then I give maybe someone else 6 of them, right? So like I'm shopping with someone and I bought 9, but I'm really giving 6 to my friend. So I want to combine like terms. And what we mean by like is they look alike. So what I'm going to get is the left stays the same. And then 9 minus 6, that's going to be 3x. And then that stays the same. And so now I took an equation that looked more scary than it was, and now it's just back to what we had before. So I'm going to give you guys, sorry, I'm running low on time. I know you guys said that was just enough, but I'm going to give you guys 1 minute, and I want you to solve this bottom equation now. So we're solving this equation right here. All right. Hey, some people are doing answers. I would suggest if you guys want to type your answers, just send me a private chat, and I can try to chat back with you. So let's go over this. So when I do this, the first thing I want to start with. No, it's okay, guys. Like we're always going to be learning. So right here, I'm going to do my addition subtraction first. So I'm going to move the 15 away from the x. Okay. So when I do that, ooh, I'm running out of room, aren't I? That's going to go away. Oh my gosh, this number. What's this number? Well, I'm going to take my calculator and go negative 12 minus, negative 12 minus 15. And I get negative 27 equals 3x. Okay, now I'm running out of room, so I'm going to go over here. So I have negative 27 equals 3x. So now this is 3 times x, so the opposite of times is divide. Okay, so then on my calculator I'm going to go negative 27 divided by 3, and I get x equals negative 9. Does anybody have questions about that? So Raekwon, did you see where you made a mistake with the negative? Because you got the 9, right? But the negative here with that 27 is still there. So when I have a negative divided by a positive, I'm still going to be negative. And that could be either you just forgot about the negative, or make sure you type the negative into your calculator. Yeah. Right. So right here, this is a negative and this is a positive. So I have a negative and a positive, and then that gives me a negative. See how I did that? So I have a negative and a positive, that gives me a negative. There you go. Yeah, it's just whatever point's left. So I sure did. I did subtract 15. So when did you do that in your calculator? Oh, okay. So if you do it in your mind, so be careful because our mind has a lot going on, so we're prone to mistakes. So if we take negative 12, so that's like saying you owe someone $12 and then you owe them another $15. So then you owe them a total of $27. So you're going to get more negative. So another thing, that's why I like using calculators because we already have so much going on here, is I can just type in negative 12 minus 15 and it will tell me the negative 27. So I highly encourage guys, I put in the chat, I put the link for Desmos. I can do that again. Use a calculator. It helps out quite a bit. Okay, I use calculators all the time because I have a lot going on in my head. Does that help out? Dude, awesome, guys. And I appreciate that you're asking questions and you're turning on your mics. So Manuel, I appreciate that. Okay. All right. I'm going to have you guys try one of these from scratch. Okay. So let me get this up. And I'm going to say, all right, try on your own. Let's give this one a try. We're going to solve 5f plus 4f minus 8 equals 19. Okay, so remember, there's two sides to your equation. If you need to combine like terms on one side, you can do that. Sorry, some of you guys are chatting me your answer. I've tried to get to as many of them as possible. I'll try to get, if I didn't respond to you, I'll try to get you next time. Some of you, Roman, you're good. So when we're doing this, did you guys notice that the left side of this equation looks really busy? Like there's a lot going on. So we're going to look for things that are alike. So we have 5f's here and 4f's here. So I can combine these. Okay, so I can combine those. So what I'm going to get is 5 plus 4 is 9f. I didn't use my calculator there, and I had to double check, triple check my work because I don't want to make a mistake. So, and then I go like that. So now that I have this, now I'm back to, all right, I want to get f by itself. So I see here I have multiplication and I have subtraction. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to deal with the subtraction. So the opposite of adding is, the opposite of subtracting is adding. So I'm going to add 8. So that goes to 0. So I get 9f equals, and then I just want to show you guys, I'm using calculators too. 19 plus 8 equals 27. Okay, and now I still don't have my f, so I'm not done yet. So my f is still there. It's 9 times f, so I'm going to divide by 9. So I divide by 9, and I get f equals 3. Okay, and how are we doing with that? Do people have any questions, or you guys had great questions last time? Does anybody have questions? Cesar says no. I really appreciate that you're using that functionality in the participants menu. Cool. Thank you, Josh. All right. Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate that. So, guys, I have one more thing that we need to talk about today. So, what did we talk about today? It's okay if you have to do multiple steps. Just make sure you do one. If you do one at a time, it's just really easy to focus on it. 2, we talked about combine like terms. And then this last one that we're going to talk about is called the distributive property. And my R's look really bad. I'm so sorry. Okay, distributive property. I've been working on my R's. They're going to get better and better because I'm going to work super hard on it. Okay, so what are we doing with the distributive property? Okay, so think of it with a shopping cart, and you guys are hosting a party, and you have soda, you have chips, you have, what else would you want for a party? You have napkins and plates, and you're about ready to go to the checkout, but then your friend comes up to you and says, whoa, like we're having, like my friends just called, we're gonna have 10 more people, but you only got stuff for 5 people. So you're gonna wanna take everything in your cart and you're gonna wanna double it, okay? That is a real life situation of distribution. You're gonna take, so what do we have here? We have, what did I say? Soda, plates, etc. And if we want to double it, so here's my shopping cart. And I'm going to double everything that's in my cart. Okay? That's what this distributive property is. It's just taking everything that you already have in a cart and multiplying it by some number. Okay? Now you'd also could be like, hey, I'm planning for a party of 100, but then you find out only 10 people are coming. So then you can multiply by a fraction. You can multiply, I want 1/10 of what I expected. Okay? So it can be anything out here. The idea is you have a shopping cart and you want to multiply everything in your shopping cart to change the amounts. Okay? So I hope that was a real world example that works for you. If not, let's just dive in right into an example and see what we're doing. Okay? So here's an example number 3. Okay, we're going to solve 2. Now I'm going to read this out loud how I write this. 2 times the quantity. So the math word quantity is another way of saying cart. So 2 times the quantity of 1 minus x plus 3 equals negative 8. Now, if you're like me, when you see this, you're like, dang, Kraft, that's a lot going on. And I agree, this is too much going on, isn't it? So before we even want to start solving it, just like we did with combining like terms, we're going to want to simplify this so that solving is easier, okay? So to do this, we are always going to distribute when you see a number outside of parentheses. So right here, we have a number outside parentheses. So this is my shopping cart. I have a 1 and a negative x in it, and I want to multiply everything by 2. So I'm going to go boom, and I'm going to go boom. And you might ask yourselves, are these arrows important? Heck yes, they're important because it's me showing my work so I don't just multiply this first one, okay? So what do we have? 2 times 1, that's 2. And then 2 times negative x, that is negative 2x. Okay, think of it as this is a negative 1 right here, right? Because in your calculator, you can't go 2 times negative x, but you can go 2 times negative 1 and then just add the x on there. Okay, and then the 3 wasn't part of that, so the 3 is still there, and the negative 8, nothing happened. Okay, so again, that is what's going on with distribution. Anytime you have a number and you want to distribute like this, and then now this is much simpler. So, we still get here. This is still kind of looking ugly on the left, right? So I would then look, hey, can I combine any terms? So here, this is called distribute. Okay, so I might look here. I have a whole number here, and I have a whole number here. So they look alike. This doesn't look like them. I can combine like terms. So I might go like this. The 2 and the 3, I might combine. So 2 plus 3 is 5. And then this guy stays. Now, just like that, in 2 steps, I went from an equation that made me scared, like, oh my gosh, how am I going to solve this? There's too much going on, to an equation where like, oh, yeah, I can solve this. I totally got this, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and solve this really quickly, and then we'll have you guys try one on your own. So to solve this, I would subtract 5. Of course, Kraft, well done. I ran out of room. So I'm going to write what I have up here. I have negative 2x equals, now I have a negative minus a negative, so I'm going to get more negatives. So on my calculator, I go negative 8 minus 5. I get negative 13. Another thing I want to point out, see this negative right here? Here, let's see if I can get a different color. This negative right here, you see how it stayed? Okay, it's really easy. Negatives are hard because it's easy for them to just go poof, disappear, but we can't let them disappear. Now, I want to get x by itself. Well, I have a negative 2, so it's negative 2 times x, so I'm going to divide by negative 2. So now, again, calculator time here, because this helps us out a lot. A negative 13 divided by a negative 2, not on the screen, is a positive 6.5. And again, decimals are our friend because a calculator will do it for us. Does anybody have questions on this? Because we have time for you guys to practice maybe 1 or 2 more of these. Thanks, Lizette. Anybody else? Thank you, Leslie. Okay. Let's try one out. Oh, we should try. Okay, so this is try on your own. I always write that in case people come back and see this video later. So we're going to solve 4 times the quantity of n minus 6 minus 1 equals 31. I'm going to give you guys a minute 30. Can I say the whole equation? Absolutely. So this is 4 times the quantity of n minus 6 minus 1 equals 31. So yeah, it's 4 times the quantity. Now, another way to say it is you can say 4 parenthesis n minus 6 parenthesis minus 1 equals 31. So if you don't remember times the quantity, you can just say parenthesis. And you can even be more specific and say 4 left parenthesis n minus 6 right parenthesis n minus 1 or minus 1 equals 31. Does that help out? So again, if you don't remember the fancy words, you don't need super fancy words. You can just describe the symbols that you see. So I have, hey, the timer's up. I have people sending me some stuff on there, but let's just go over it. We don't have a ton of time left, so I'm just going to get started. So the first thing I see a number outside some parentheses. So I'm going to distribute. Okay, so I'm going to have 4 times n, that's 4n, and then I have 4 times negative 6. Now, make sure, guys, there's a negative here, so it's 4 times negative 6, 4 times negative 6. So I'm going to get minus 24, right? If you owed something in the cart, you're going to owe 4 times more now, because that's what you had. So then I have minus 1, and then 31. Okay, so again, I'm multiplying everything in here by 4. Keep track of the negatives. Then the next step that I look at here, right, I got a bunch of new stuff. I'm going to see if anything looks alike. So I have an n term. I don't have any other n terms. I have 2 whole number terms. I can probably combine these. So I'm going to combine m. So I have 4n, and then I have a negative, and I'm getting more negative. So I'm going to be at negative 25. Okay? Think of it as like you have 24 things in your life that are making you sad, and you're going to add one more negative thing. So now we have 25 negative things. Okay? Okay, when I get to here, I have 4n minus 25. I want to get the n by itself, so I'm going to do addition, subtraction first. The opposite of minus is add. Okay, so I'm going to have 31 plus 25, okay, and I have 4n equals 56. And then I have 4 times n, and then I'm going to go divide by 4. That goes to 1. So I have n equals, divided by 4 equals 14. So let's take a second. Did I lose anybody? Did I confuse anybody? Did anybody get stuck? So we did a couple of different things, right? We distributed, Right. And guys, it's okay to make mistakes. I expect you to make mistakes. And that's why I made my homework policy that you guys can redo and retake any assignment as many times as you want, because we're going to make mistakes and we're going to make them right, okay? How are we doing for time? I only have 4 minutes left. So really quickly, guys, one, don't do your next assignment right off the bat. I'm going to delete it and remake it so that you can have unlimited check your answers. So you should be able to check your answer before you submit as many times as you want. So don't start your new homework right away. You will have new homework that will be due next class. Our next class is Thursday. So make sure, and then we also have a past assignment. I noticed not a lot of people have turned in that assignment, guys. Make sure you're using your time, because we have async time that you're supposed to be working to get those assignments done. I will accept all work at any time, but you guys want to have it done by next class, or else what's going to happen is you're going to have so much work that you haven't done and you're going to get overwhelmed. So try to get your work done now. Get it done. Remember, Wednesday, you don't have any classes. That's a perfect work time. And if you have questions, email me. If you need help in Spanish, you can email Miss Ortiz. But if you have another support teacher, you can email them. But it's super important, guys, that if you have questions or you're stuck, that you ask for help, because I want to help. And if you don't ask, I don't know how I can help. Okay? So we do have, that's all I wanted to say. We have a little time. So with that little time, we're going to solve one more equation. We're going to do one more practice, because I want you guys to feel like you can do this, you can try it before we leave today. So let's do this. Solve. I like this one. Okay, 3 times the quantity of x plus 1 plus 6 equals -9. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. All right. Hey guys, really quickly, I know we're at 9:50. I do want to go over this. Can someone who's turned in their Big Ideas math homework, is there a submit button on Big Ideas math when you're done with your assignment? So I'm seeing a yes. So there should be like a submit button that you hit to turn it in when you're done. Okay? So that's what you're looking for there. If you're having issues finding that, then you should email me and I'll help you out. Okay? Hey, really quickly, because we're at the end of class, I need to go over this. So I do want to go over something. So I taught you to distribute first. I just want you to know, couldn't we move this 6 first if we wanted to? So I'm going to do this 2 ways. And I have to go slightly quick, sorry. So I'm going to solve this 2 ways. So the way we did it, I did distributing first. So I'd have 3x plus 3 plus 6 equals -9. Then I would combine like terms. So I get 3x plus 9 equals -9. Then I would subtract 9 to get 3x equals negative 18. Then I would divide by 3, and I would get x equals negative 6. Sorry, I went kind of quick there. Then on this other one, there's another way to do this. And some people are like, well, what if I do it this way? It's totally fine. Some people are like, well, I subtracted the 6 first. That's totally fine. You can do that too. So you'd get 3 times the quantity of x plus 1 equals negative 15. Okay, and then you can distribute. And then you can subtract. And then hopefully you see, did we get to the same thing? Okay, now I only showed you 2 ways. There's lots of ways to do this. So if you guys get stuck, just let me know. There isn't just one way to do this. Okay, guys, homework. You're going to have homework posted soon. It's going to be due by Thursday. If you need help logging into Big Ideas or getting that done, please let me know. That's the end of class. If you have questions, you can stick around. If not, you have a 10-minute break between now and your next class. So if you guys need to log off and go do that, you can. Class is dismissed. If you want to stay around and ask a question, you can. So bye, guys. Take care. Hey, you have a great day. Happy Monday. Yeah. That is a great question. Can you give me just a second? It's going to take me a second to look at Big Ideas and see what you did. Okay. Let me take a look. And I'm speaking to Manuel. Am I in the right class? Manuel, do you have a hyphenated last name? What's your other name? Oh, I see it now. Sorry, it's just the Rosales showed up first and thing. So it didn't say you submitted it. So can you open up your assignment and see? It says that you've worked on it. It just says you haven't submitted it yet. And Robert, same thing. It says you haven't submitted it yet. And if you want, Manuel, if you want, I can allow you to share your screen so I can help you out. Because I have no idea what the student version looks like. Down at the, are you on a Chromebook or a PC? It's a green button. You can, so if you have a window open, you can share just that window if you want. Yeah, I'm looking at the first assignment. This is the assignment 1.1. Okay, so if you click resume, what happens? Yeah, I see the screen. Do you see the screen? So yeah, click resume. So I made a mistake. So that first one only let you do 5 times. So if you want, I can send it back to you so you can try it again, okay? Do you want me to do that? Okay, so you have to submit it and then I have to unsubmit it. So what happens if you click to the right? There's a right arrow. Okay, and just keep going. What's that little timer up top? Yeah. Total time. No, that doesn't help. Here, I'm going to Google something really quick. It just says to complete. Okay, so what if you go back to your main screen, like go back to just your home screen for big ideas. Yeah, I'm trying to Google how to do this. Okay, so try clicking on your name and seeing what happens, what the drop-down menu is. What? Okay, so this isn't. This isn't what. It is second. Live chat, teacher dashboard, assignments. Just a second. I'm trying to see what happens. Okay, here, I have a YouTube video that I'm looking at. Okay, because everything I see is not what you see. So can you do me a favor and just can you open a new browser window? And in the address, type big ideas, or just Google search big ideas math. Oop, change that K to an S. Okay, there you go, and then .com. Okay, sure. Now, yeah, click on that. Click on that one. Big ideas math. Okay, and then log in through Clever. Okay. What? Okay, try again. This happened to me this morning too. Do it again, like log in with Clever. Does that make sense, Manuel? Wait, Robert, how did you submit? Oh, this is it. So Manuel, this is what you need to be seeing. So there, so go to overdue, click on the overdue tab. So there's an upcoming tab and an overdue tab. Sorry, Manuel, can you, so underneath assignments, there's an upcoming and overdue. Click on the overdue. And then, Robert, how did you submit? Okay, click on resume. So it's the pencil, yeah. Okay, you tell him, Robert. There we go. Thank you, Robert. You're a lifesaver. I never knew that. So Manuel, now I get it too. Um, so Manuel, do you want me to go and send that back to you so you can work on your score? Okay, so I'll do that right now. Okay. All right. And Leslie, did that help out? Did you have a question? Okay. All right. Good. 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 Sorry, guys. This is all new to me as well. So I appreciate Robert. You really helped out. I appreciate that. All right. Do you guys have any more questions? Leslie, do you have any questions? All right. You guys can take off then if you don't have any questions. Robert, I really appreciate you.